Wrestling has always been a family business, and some of the most compelling stories come from actual brothers who've shared both the ring and their lives together. Today, we're exploring 35 pairs of biological brothers who've made their mark in professional wrestling. Number 1. Matt and Jeff Hardy grew up in North Carolina building their own wrestling ring as teenagers. Matt is the technical wrestler, while Jeff became famous for his death-defying aerial moves. They've maintained their bond through decades of success and personal struggles. Number 2. Rick and Scott Steiner were both Division I wrestling champions at University of Michigan before becoming professional wrestlers. Rick was a two-time NCAA champion, and they successfully adapted their amateur wrestling skills to professional wrestling stardom. Number 3. Jimmy and Jey Uso are twins from the legendary Samoan Anoa'i wrestling family. They're sons of WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi and have won multiple tag team championships while creating their own identity within their famous family legacy. Number 4. Matt and Nick Jackson revolutionized independent wrestling through social media before joining All Elite Wrestling. They built a massive following worldwide and helped change how wrestlers can control their own careers and branding. Number 5. Jay and Mark Briscoe from Delaware represent old-school wrestling values. They've been wrestling together since teenagers and remained loyal to Ring of Honor, becoming synonymous with that promotion through their authentic rural personas. Number 6. Bret and Owen Hart came from Calgary's legendary Hart wrestling family. Bret became a multiple-time world champion known for technical excellence, while Owen was equally skilled. Their storyline rivalry was emotionally compelling television that ended tragically with Owen's passing in 1999. Number 7. Kevin, Kerry, David, Mike, and Chris Von Erich were the kings of Texas wrestling in the 1980s. Kerry became WWE champion, but the family faced tremendous tragedy, with only Kevin surviving. Their story represents both wrestling's heights and its darkest moments. Number 8. Terry and Dory Funk Jr. represent wrestling royalty. Dory Jr. became NWA World Champion, while Terry became famous for hardcore wrestling. Both wrestled into their 60s and trained countless wrestlers at Terry's Funking Conservatory. Number 9. Eddie and Chavo Guerrero Jr. come from Mexican wrestling royalty. Eddie became one of WWE's most beloved champions with his I lie, I cheat, I steal character. His 2005 passing shocked the wrestling world, but his legacy continues inspiring wrestlers today. Number 10. Ron and Don Harris wrestled as twins in various promotions under different names. They were known as 8-Ball and Skull in WWE, and later as the Harris Brothers in TNA. They've remained active behind the scenes in training and management. Number 11. Dean and Joe Malenko followed their father, Professor Boris Malenko, into wrestling. Dean became known as the Man of 1,000 Holds for his technical ability in WCW and WWE, often called one of the best pure wrestlers of his generation. Number 12. Gene and Lars Anderson formed the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, one of the most successful heel tag teams of the 1960s and 70s. They were known for their hard-hitting style and ability to generate genuine crowd heat. Number 13. Brian Gerard James, Road Dogg, and Brad Armstrong both had successful wrestling careers. Brad was known for technical ability, while Road Dogg became famous in WWE's D-Generation X. Their father, Bullet Bob Armstrong, was also a respected wrestler. Number 14. Dave and Earl Hebner were WWE's most famous twin referees for decades. While not wrestlers, they were involved in wrestling's most controversial moments, including the Montreal Screwjob, showing how wrestling families extend beyond performers. Number 15. Luke and Butch Williams, known as the Bushwhackers, were actually cousins from New Zealand. They had successful careers as both serious wrestlers, the Sheepherders, and comedic characters, showing the versatility required in professional wrestling. Number 16. Barry and Kendall Windham both had wrestling careers, with Barry becoming particularly successful. Their father, Blackjack Mulligan, was also a famous wrestler, representing how wrestling talent runs through generations. Number 17. Davy Boy Smith Jr. and Harry Smith continued their family's wrestling legacy. Their father was the British Bulldog, and they've worked to honor that tradition while creating their own paths in wrestling. Number 18. Brie and Nikki Bella became two of WWE's most recognizable female wrestlers. They helped revolutionize women's wrestling entertainment and became mainstream celebrities beyond wrestling. Number 19. Daniel and Jacob Fatu represent another branch of the Samoan wrestling family tree. They've worked in various promotions and continue the family tradition of producing talented wrestlers across multiple generations. Number 20. Murphy and Patrick Dunne have worked primarily in European wrestling circuits. They represent the global nature of wrestling families, showing how brothers pursue wrestling dreams worldwide, not just in major American promotions. Number 21. Ross and Marshall Von Erich are Kevin Von Erich's sons who've carried on the family name in modern wrestling. They've worked to rebuild the Von Erich legacy while dealing with their family's complicated history. Number 22. Chavo Sr. and Mando Guerrero were part of the original Guerrero wrestling generation. Chavo Sr. was Eddie and Chavo Jr.'s father, while Mando also had a successful wrestling career, establishing the family's wrestling foundation. Number 23. Hector and Chavo Guerrero Sr. were brothers who helped establish the Guerrero wrestling dynasty in Mexico and the United States. Their wrestling careers laid the groundwork for future generations of Guerrero wrestlers. Number 24. Roman Reigns and Rosie were both part of the Anoa'i family wrestling tradition. While Roman became the face of WWE, Rosie had his own WWE career as part of the tag team 3 Minute Warning, and later as a superhero character. Number 25. Jimmy and Jay Uso and Solo Sikoa represent multiple brothers from the Samoan wrestling family. Solo is the younger brother who followed Jimmy and Jay into WWE, developing his own intimidating character and championship success. Number 26. Afa and Sika Anoa'i were the Wild Samoans, who helped establish the Samoan wrestling tradition in WWE. Their hard-hitting, wild style influenced generations of Samoan wrestlers who followed, including their own sons and nephews. Number 27. Jake Roberts and his half-brother Sam Houston both had wrestling careers. Jake became famous as Jake the Snake with his psychological wrestling style, while Sam had his own career in various territories, showing how wrestling families often have complex relationships. Number 28. The Godwins performers. Mark Canterbury and Dennis Knight weren't real brothers, but Canterbury had actual family members involved in wrestling training and regional promotion work behind the scenes. Number 29. Ricky Morton had actual family members who wrestled in regional promotions, continuing the wrestling family tradition beyond his famous Rock and Roll Express partnership with Robert Gibson. Number 30. The Knobbs family had actual wrestling brothers who worked in regional territories during the 1980s and 1990s, separate from Brian Knobbs' Nasty Boys fame with Jerry Saggs. Number 31. Dustin Rhodes and Cody Rhodes are the sons of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Dustin became famous as Goldust in WWE with his controversial character, while Cody left WWE to help found All Elite Wrestling, and later returned to WWE as a major star. Number 32. Matt and Mike Bell were British wrestling brothers who competed primarily in UK promotions during the 1980s and 1990s. They represented the strong wrestling tradition in Britain and helped train many wrestlers who later found success internationally. Number 34. Magnum T.A., Terry Allen, and his brother had wrestling connections, though Magnum became the more famous one before his career-ending car accident. He was known for his rivalry with Tully Blanchard and was considered a rising star in the NWA. Number 35. Ian and Robbie Rotten were hardcore wrestling brothers who competed primarily in independent promotions and were known for their extreme wrestling style. They helped influence the hardcore wrestling movement of the 1990s. These brother teams show that wrestling's family business creates unique bonds. Whether working together or feuding as rivals, brothers bring authentic chemistry and emotional depth that fictional storylines can't match.